Good morning to all. So we will be continuing balancing of rotating masses for module 3, and we will be today dealing with the first part of the numerical sections that contains balancing of several masses in same plane. So balancing of several masses in same plane. So balancing of these several masses, that means there will be a rotating shaft or rotating disc something, and there will be several masses attached in the same plane. That means at any one section of that pipe or rod, whatever which is rotating at an angle omega, angular speed omega, there will be several masses attached at different radii of rotation, like this. But they will all be attached in same point of contact. So they will be all in same plane, like M3, R3. R3 is the radius of rotation, and there may be M4, R4. So if you see from this side, if you see from side view, from here you see, what you will see is there will be a rod and there will be several masses attached to it. All of these masses will be in the same plane because all masses are attached at the same section of the rotating object. So this is the first type of numericals, and we will deal with the numerical to make you understand a little bit more how to solve this kind of questions. Okay, so let me place a question. So this will be a first question, and this will be a first question for assignment also. So four masses M1, M2, M3, and M4. Their magnitudes are given 200, 300, 240, 260 respectively, and the corresponding radius of rotation R1, R2, R3, R4. You can name it as 0.2, 0.15, 0.25, 0.3, all in meters. And angle between successive masses. That means angle between M1 and M2 is given as 45. Angle between M3 and M4 is given as 75, and angle between M3 and M4 is given as 135. So how to solve this? Two methods are there. One is analytical method and other one is graphical method. But to start both, you need to draw the side view of how these masses will look in a plane. So the easiest way to draw is make one of the masses given as horizontal. So I'm making M1 as horizontal. So taking a horizontal line to represent M1. So this is my M1, and that is M1, and it is having a radius of rotation R1. So it is actually 200 kilogram and radius of rotation is 0.2. And next, how do you draw it? There is no scaling for this one, this vector. There is no scaling, but your angle should be perfect. So angle between successive masses are 45, 75, and 135. That means between M1 and M2 there is 45 degree. So you have to take your protractor, place it here, and take a 45 degree. Is it 45? Yeah, I am doing it approximately, yeah, 45. So you should draw a line at 45. That will be your next mass M2. What is the relevance of this? This comes handy in doing graphical method. So M2, that is 300 kilogram, and radius of rotation R2 is 0.15. Next, between successive masses, next is given as 75. That means between M2 and M3 it is 75. So again taking the protractor, placing it at M2 because the angle between M2 and M3 is given as 75. So marking 75 in this. Somewhere around there. So that will be our next mass, and that is having radius of rotation M3 240 kilogram and radius of rotation R3 is equal to 0.25. And next angle is 135. So between M3 and M4 there will be 135. So again taking protractor, keep it here aligned with the vector of M3, 135 degrees. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 135 will be somewhere there. So take your line. So this will be the vector representing M4, and M4 is given as 260 and radius is 0.3 meter. R4 is equal to 0.3 meter. Everything is given as meter, and 260 kilogram. This is also meter. This is also meter. And we can mark the angles now: 45, 75, and 135 degree. So this completes the first part of your solution. Now we can solve it two methods. One is analytical method. We will prefer graphical, but for the sake of learning, you should know how to solve it analytically. For that, it is simple. We should equate in like we do in mechanics and mechanics of machinery, MOS, and all those. We should equate all the horizontal forces, take the sum as Fx, then take sum of Fy, then find angle theta is equal to tan inverse sigma Fy over sigma Fx. And Fx will be a function of cos theta, and Fy will be a function of sin theta as a vertical component. So because we are dealing with rotating masses, what will deal with this force will be all of them will be centrifugal forces. All the forces will be centrifugal. So if we start solving it analytically, first we have to take all the forces. So since it is centrifugal forces, I am marking it as F4 force, C4 centrifugal, and 1 for centrifugal force due to mass 1 with radius R1. So that will be M1 R1, and we will negate omega because FC1 is equal to MR, because we have taken centrifugal force okay. We are taking it as centrifugal force divided by omega square, because we know centrifugal force is mr omega square, but we are not taking omega because it is not required, because while we do the solutions that omega square will be common and it will be cancelling out, and anyway in question also omega will not be given. So we will be only taking m1 into r1, and we will not be taking any omega square, because omega square will get cancelled, because we equate all the fx and fy equal to 0, and by doing so that omega square will be cancelled. And even if you don't equate fx and fy equal to 0, that omega square will be common, and that omega square will divide itself when you take theta. Okay. So m1 r1, what is that? M1 r1 is equal to 200 times 0.2. That will be 40. Unit will be kilogram times meter. And similarly fc2 will be M2 R2, that will be 300 times 0.15, that will come around 45 kilogram meter. FC2, that will be M3 R3, that will be 240 times 0.25, 60 kilogram meter. This unit is important. FC3 is equal to M4R4, and that will be 260 times 0.3, 78 kilogram meter. And now to solve it analytically, you have to take all the horizontal components and all the vertical components. So horizontal component, I am marking it as sigma of fx. So it will be f c1 cos theta. Since horizontal components are cos components, f c2 cos theta 1 theta 2 plus f c3 cos theta 4 plus f c4 cos theta 5. So theta 2, theta 3 and theta 4. So this will be cos theta 3 and this will be cos theta 4. And since we are taking first mass here as horizontal, so the first theta will be 0. That is the advantage of taking one of the masses as horizontal. So since we have taken only first mass as horizontal, so first theta 1 will be equal to, let me write it. So theta 1 will be equal to 0. Theta 2 will be equal to 45. Now theta 3, that is the angle of mass with respect to the reference. We have taken reference as x. So first one is 0, second one is 45, third one is not 75. We have to take the angle from the reference. That means this much angle. So that will be theta 3. And similarly, this angle will be theta 4. So theta 3 will be 45 plus 75 and theta 4 will be 45 plus 75 plus 135. So we should take the angle with respect to the horizontal because our cos component is taken from the horizontal, even though in the question it is given between the successive masses. So now equating it, 40 times cos 0 plus 40 times cos 0 plus 45 times cos 45 plus 60 times cos 75 plus 45 plus 78 times cos 75 plus 45 plus 135. So if you do it in calculator, you will get a value of around 21.63. Similarly, if you take f y, which is vertical component, fc1 sin theta 1 plus fc2 sin theta 2 plus fc3 sin theta 4 plus fc4 sin, sorry, theta 3 here, theta 3 plus sin theta 4. So that will be, again the angles will remain the same, only you have to take okay. So that will be, if you equate it, all the mass forces are same, only you have to take, instead of cos in the earlier equation, you have to take sine, and you will get around 8.439. So you got fx, you got fy, that is vertical and horizontal component. You have to find the resultant. Resultant will be nothing but square root of horizontal component square plus vertical component square. So that will be equal to square root of 21.63 square plus 8.43 square. And theta, angle at which this resultant will act, is tan inverse. That's I have learned in mechanics. Tan inverse vertical divided by horizontal. So that will be tan inverse 8.439 divided by 21.63. That will come around 21.31 degree. So this is the analytical method, but we are required to find out the position of position and magnitude of balancing mass. Position now we have found out. That is the theta we got. That is 21.31 degree that we got now. But magnitude we have still have to find out. But to find magnitude, they have given one thing: the radius of rotation of the counter mass or the balancing mass is given. So we have the resultant force, that is force generated by that balancing mass, or the force that that balancing mass should counter, that is R. So R is known. So R is equal to force to be balanced. Resultant will be the force to be balanced. This force is generating unbalanced effect on the rotating body. Unbalanced effect. So to negate this unbalancing effect, we have to balance it. So we have taken forces as m into r. We have not equated omega square there. So we will be taking r also as m into r. So r is actually resultant force generated by the mass, total resultant mass into total resultant radius of rotation. That is what we have got as 23.22, and its units also will be kilogram meter, because we have taken forces as kilogram meter. So to know the balancing mass, we should equate it to the balancing mass, taking magnitude of balancing mass as b and radius of rotation as small b. This radius of rotation they have given in the question to be 0.2 here. So we can just equate it and find out. So 23.22 will be equal to balancing mass into 0.2, and from that balancing mass B will be equal to 23.22 divided by 0.2, that will come around 116 kilogram. So this is your answer, magnitude of balancing mass. And this is your position of balancing mass. So this will be your answer. This should be your theta and that should be your kilogram. So this is how you do it analytically. We will continue with the graphical method in the next video. Thanks.